Alright, so here's CBOU. This was a short alert today, and I just want to explain what I saw. Hopefully you can duplicate the process in the future if technical analysis is new to you. First things first, this was a previous short for me in through here, I believe. If it wasn't in through here, it was back in here. You can check Profitly if you're interested in seeing my last short on this one. They had good earnings while I was away last week, and you can see the stock runs up with volume prior to that earnings. Nice stair step, higher highs with volume. Stock goes from roughly the 13 range all the way up to the 1550 range. And it kind of butts up into resistance a couple of times, and then today it just comes back down with the overall market. So if we go to the 1 minute chart, you can see what I was looking at. Basically, I said from 11:30 on, it was making a series of lower highs. And anytime a stock makes lower highs, it's a short. Anytime it makes higher lows, it's a buying opportunity. So we get the spike from 14 all the way up to 16, then it pulls back, retraces some, and then it gets a little secondary bounce. When these secondary bounces don't reach the previous high, that leaves these buyers up and through here, everybody who bought up and through here, it leaves them down on the day. So they become sellers when the stock starts to dip. Okay, so it drops, starts to come back. The people who bought in through here are hoping that the stock gets back up to that level. When it doesn't, they start to worry about taking a loss, and they become resistance. So when you get that compound, that's where you get the series of lower highs, which is what we have. So you have your high, you have a lower high, and then it just makes a series of lower highs through here. Now I decided to go short in through here because you can see support was right here at 1470, and it started to break support at 1470. That was my first buy. 500 shares just in case, because it could have been a bounce area. This is seen as a buying opportunity, and you can clearly see that when it gets down into the 1460 area here, there were a lot of buyers. But again, met with a lot of sellers, met with buyers, and more sellers. Okay, and this happens throughout the day. Now my sell signal came when the stock made a higher low, and you can see that occurred right in through here. So I had to take profit, even though it was only $300 compared to my $1,000 down in through here. I had to take profit here because I couldn't risk the stock moving back up through my entry. I want to close trades green from now on when I've picked the right direction. Clearly I picked the right direction on this stock, entering and alerting in through here at support, which you can clearly see, alerting and then playing it to the downside. So all you have to know is where support is, and if it breaks that support, then all of these dip buyers right here become sellers as well. So there's a lot within this little trade that makes it unique and makes it, a successful trade for me. You have to know these things with technical analysis on a 1 minute chart to play the momentum. Otherwise, you're just guessing. So again, everybody who dip bought right here, and you can see all of this volume in through the open, these people become sellers when it breaks their entry level. So everything in through here becomes selling for the rest of the day. All of these people and all that volume, those people are at a loss, they become sellers, and the stock goes down. So when it made a higher low, I had to cover. I wish I wouldn't have, because if we look at the daily chart, it went all the way down to 1325. I believe it was lower than that. It had a couple of hits post-market at 1325, but it was trading below 13. So we're talking about over, from my alert, $1 to $2 a share, no problem. But again, being a real trader and not just an alert service, I had to follow my rules. The stock started to creep and made a higher low. And when that happens, I consider that a break of the overall trend. Again, if I was to draw a trend line down through here, you can see where that starts to break the trend. Right in through there, and that's where I covered my shares, took the couple $100 of profit, and I'll move on. I am looking at shorting CBOU again tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out, but this one has support right in through here at 13. Now it was testing that in the after hours, so if it gets through there at the open tomorrow morning or even pre-market, then I'll probably look to short this one, because if it breaks 1260, we're talking about a stock that could fall all the way down to, well, I would say probably the 1175 range. So definitely still a lot of trading short opportunities on CBOU. It's had a lot of volume lately, so it's going to be volatile. I'll play it long too. I'll just have to read the chart when the time comes. Take it easy, everybody. That's the breakdown on CBOU. Just important to understand that all these people that bought in through here become sellers when the dip and bounce doesn't get as high as where they bought. And then that compounds throughout the day as more people dip buy. See you.